All of his stuff looked good, so probably too good because it was probably snug, but he was different in everything that he did. He locked up different. He locked up snug.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Snug Wrestling with me, your host. My name is Edgar. Special guest with us today. The guest of today for this episode is Eric.
Oh. You went out.
Jesus Christ. Here we go again with this bullshit, man. Oh my God. We've been having some issues today, man.
Yeah.
So many technical difficulties. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what? Right before we started recording, I had a power outage in my area.
Hey.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in time. Because usually those things, they take forever. Like sometimes they can take up to days. Like if you lose power, you don't know when you're getting it back, but they turn it back on right away, thankfully, just in time for the show. And it's fucking me all up, and it messed up my intro already. But my guest for today is Eric from the SDN Podcast. Sorry about that, man. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good now. I think we're back online. So let's get started, man. First of all, I wanna learn more about your podcast. So if you don't mind telling me what you guys are all about and what you guys do over there, let the people know.
So basically, our podcast was an idea that I've been wanting to do for a while. I have one of my friends from work and with my kids, and we just wanted to just talk wrestling because every time we're together, all we do is talk about wrestling. So it was like, we should be doing like a podcast or something. So one of my last trips that I did to a show, I was like, you know what? Because I was driving. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna buy the equipment. I'm just start doing it, and we've been doing that for like 3 months now. We do it because we love it. We do it because we love it. Right now, we're doing just wrestling. Once football season starts, man, we're gonna do like another podcast, and we're gonna be talking about football.
That's good, man. Because on your title, unlike mine, my podcast, it says Snug Wrestling. So it's kind of hard for me to talk about something else because then it'll be like, I came here to listen to wrestling, and this was talking about fucking golf or some random shit. I don't know.
I know. No, but like, so the thing is that with us, it's going to be mostly wrestling. And what we're going to try to do is we're not going to try to mix both of them in the same show. We're going to try to do, wrestling on one show, football in another. Because, dude, we can talk about wrestling for hours and hours, and we can also talk about football for hours and hours, especially with my kids. My kids know more about football than anybody I know. Like So, but now our main interest is wrestling, but trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to get out there. We're planning on doing our first one during SummerSlam weekend because it's in Cleveland, and we're going to be doing the NFL Hall of Fame game, and that's where we're going to kick it off.
Oh, that sounds awesome, man. Well, yeah, definitely be looking forward to checking that out. Be sure to follow the SDN Podcast and follow what they do over there. And we're going to be, I'm not really big on football. Well, the football is what I'm into besides the wrestling. But we're going to be talking about the WWE today, maybe a little bit of AEW. And the topic of today's show is WWE is a joke. And I bet you a lot of people are like, oh, Edgar, why would you say that? Why? Well, it's not because of the reasons that you guys all think, okay?
Yeah.
We saw Clash of the Castle, and people are talking about all of the botches that we saw during that show. And, people are being accused of needing more training, people like Jade Cargill, and then there's reports saying that the ropes were too loose. I'm not saying that WWE is a joke because of those reasons, although I'm sure that's where people's mind would automatically go. The reason that WWE is a joke is because Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, is actually going to be coming out with some type of comedy show on Money in the Bank weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be called Sami Zayn and Friends. So, you know, for all those people that were like thinking I was going to be talking shit and bashing the WWE,
remember that?
No, literally, WWE is making a joke comedy show for Money in the Bank weekend. And we've seen Sami Zayn kind of be in like a comedy type role when he was in the Bloodline. And we saw some amazing moments with, you know, Sami Zayn coming out with the Uzi. He's just not feeling Uzi, which got a big pop. And I think they even made shirts out of it and it became this big thing. So automatically, when I first found out about this comedy show that Sami Zayn is going to be putting out, Money in the Bank weekend, it reminded me of all those great moments that we've seen with him with the Bloodline, and it got me really excited to see this. So, what do you think we can expect from seeing Sami Zayn do this comedy show, which is supposed to be having it's Sami Zayn and friends? They didn't say who else is going to be in it. But I mean, it will probably be seeing other talent on there, just doing comedy, which is something really different, I think.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he did a show already, a Netflix special, or he has it coming out, stuff like that. I haven't seen it, but yeah, man. When I saw it, I was like, because I actually wanted to go to Money in the Bank, but I can't. I gotta work. But I saw it and I'm like, this is something that. And same as you, it brought all those memories of him backstage with making the guys break characters, you know, when he was dancing and all this stuff. And I'm like,
handshake.
Yeah, it was like feeling woozy and all that, going to Waffle House and all that. So it brought all those memories back when I saw it. When I was reading, I was like, it'll be something that I would definitely be interested in watching. I mean, as far as the Friends, I know that he did have one, and like Johnny Knoxville was a part of it. Like he was heckling him from the crowd and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe we'll have more than just probably some of the wrestlers in there, probably some celebrities. So I hope it's something they actually put on the Peacock or something, because I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, and this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I didn't know that Sami Zayn has done shows like this before. I thought this was like a first thing, but now that you mentioned like Johnny Knoxville, is it? Yeah. It's starting to come back to me because I think there was something going on where they were trying to promote Jackass during that time, that match at WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now it makes sense why they would do this, because this isn't like an experiment. They know, like, kind of the WWE knows what they're getting themselves into, kind of. But Sami Zayn, man, like, I'm a big critic when it comes to Sami Zayn and his in-ring work and stuff like that. But lately, he's been getting over with me, man. I really enjoyed his match at Clash at the Castle versus Chad Gable. I thought it was the best match on the entire show that night, even better than AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes.
It was.
And now, you know, we have this announcement, and I think it's going to be on Peacock. Well, it says here that WWE announced that Sami Zayn will debut his comedy show, Sami Zayn and Friends, due Toronto, and it's Thursday, July 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, from the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto, as part of WWE's massive Money in the Bank weekend. They're going to be doing it's a comedy and a variety show featuring guests from the worlds of comedy, television, and the WWE. So that's going to be interesting. It doesn't specify if it's going to be on Peacock. I'm pretty sure it has to be on Peacock.
They have to. If they're promoted, they have to.
Yes. So we'll see if any further announcements about that. But yeah, man. I mean, we've also seen like a few, not a few, Dolph Ziggler,
Yes.
formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, also a big guy in comedy. So it's exciting to see WWE trying out these different things. I don't think, well, maybe, Vince McMahon is gone, so it's maybe one of those things that they're able to do now that he's one
That
of the
he's not
many
there.
things that they're able to do. Yeah, now that he's not there. But it's funny the way that this was announced, because it is going to be going down in Canada. And the article here says, and this shit was so funny, it's been a couple of weeks for Canada. It's been a couple of hard weeks, bad weeks in Canada. With the whole thing that's going on with Drake and how he absolutely got bodied by the boogeyman Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
But it's all good because Sami Zayn has a comedy show coming out in Canada. I just like how that those two things were compared. So did you enjoy Clash at the Castle and this match with Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable?
I did. I actually did. I actually was very surprised that Gable didn't get the title. I thank God I didn't bet no money, because I was actually pretty certain that Gable was gonna win, given his whole contract negotiations and all this stuff. And I was like, "There's no way that he's not gonna. They're gonna give him the belt." And Gable's just a great wrestler. He can, like you were saying, that you're very critical of Sammy's work and all that stuff, but Gable is a phenomenal wrestler. So anybody that goes in there, they just got to follow his lead, and they're going to be having a great match.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that. I for sure thought that they were going to put the title on Chad Gable. But I think right now what they're trying to focus on more is that Otis turn, that the people have been asking for, and the people want to see Otis,
Oh yeah.
get his comeuppance on Chad Gable. But overall, man, that entire match, it was a great match. I did a review episode of Clash of the Castles with our good friend Dre from over the 1130 podcast. So if you haven't already, check that out.
Yep.
And man, Damian Priest too, that night, he had a rough night. He retained. Damian Priest retained, man, but he got lucky. Man, that was a scary ass spot with Damian Priest. I'm like, man, it could have ended so badly.
Yes, I actually missed it. I blinked and I missed it, and then I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" And then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, he really got lucky." But no, man, I'm thrilled that Damian won. I'm a huge Damian fan.
Yeah, me too.
But it was a good match also between them, for two big guys, for what they can do. I think it was pretty good. It could have been better, but to me, I mean, again, huge fan of both actually. So I was pretty happy with the outcome. But we all know the outcome of what's going to happen. So we all knew CM Punk was going to.
Yeah, I mean, I had a really. I was gonna say I kind of predicted that as well, but I was kind of hoping for that because I want to see Drew McIntyre and CM Punk have a feud. Do I want to see? Did I want to see Drew McIntyre win the title in his hometown? Yes, but I would much rather see CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And good old Papa H, he heard my he heard my call in, and he was like, "Here you go, Edgar, in a silver platter for you to enjoy. We get to see CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre."
Hey, listen.
So overall, yeah, that was. Yeah.
I can't wait for
Go
that
ahead.
match.
Sorry.
To be honest with you, I think that match. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna steal the show or anything like that, but given the circumstances and everything that has been happening the last couple of weeks, like we didn't see Punk for like what, the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I think
So I was like, they're trying to kind of just push Punk to the side just so McIntyre can concentrate on Priest. But we all knew. And dude, I'm looking forward to it. I really hope it doesn't happen. It's Money in the Bank. I don't think it's gonna happen in Money in the Bank, but I really hope it doesn't happen. I'm waiting for it to be in SummerSlam. That's when I'm going. So I want to be there. I want to witness that. But the one thing that will make this feud even longer, like, to prolong it and everything, it would be for Drew McIntyre to go in and pretty much beat the crap out of CM Punk, and somehow Punk wins the first match. I mean, we all know Drew's going to end up with the title sooner or later. And I think he deserves a long, lengthy run. But
Hell yeah.
We need to see this side of more vicious Drew. And we kind of saw it already at the end of the match when he was going nuts. So I think that Drew has to, pretty much beat the shit out of him. Whenever they get together, Punk somehow pulls out the win, and then have go back and forth, a couple of pay-per-views, and then Damian can go from there. I mean, not Damian, I'm sorry, Drew.
Yeah, man, that's one of those matches too. That's like, who do I really want to see win this? Because I like both of them a lot. Yeah, and the blow-off match is going to be great, but I'm more excited about the road to get to the match. The build, the storyline. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because Drew McIntyre has been fire on the mic. CM Punk, that's what he's known for. Yeah. So it's gonna be some good shit. But yeah, we saw that at Clash at the Castle. We also saw the referee tell AJ Styles about the ropes in the first match, in the beginning of the match. As we know, AJ Styles, he's known to do the springboard jump, to throw the flying elbow. And I believe AJ Styles was still able to do it. As we all saw, Jade Cargill try to do kind of the similar thing. Didn't work. Damian Priest tried it. Didn't work. So something was up with those ropes. But luckily, Damian Priest is okay. I was a little concerned when I was watching the match because he was selling the leg. And I'm like, man, he really hurt himself. Like, fuck. Yeah. But I guess it turned out there's reports that Damian Priest was effectively selling, and he's not actually like injured, thankfully. He was really selling the leg, and I think they were just kind of at that point just calling shit on the fly because, like, what else can you do? But it was such a scary scene, such a scary spot, whatever the kids call it nowadays. But yes, Damian Priest still the champion. And we'll see what's next for Damian Priest. What do you think is next for Damian Priest now that he has defeated Drew McIntyre? Could we be seeing him go up against maybe Gunther?
Well, I think that honestly, now that Seth is back, I think that Seth is going to get his rematch Money in the Bank, to be honest with you.
Oh, Seth, yeah. As we just saw, Seth just came back while we're recording this. Monday Night Raw is taking place right now, and I kind of have it on the background, and Seth Rollins did return. So that's actually a really good prediction now that Seth Rollins is back. I haven't really been paying attention to the promo. I know he was in the ring a little while ago. But I don't actually, did he say if Seth Rollins is cleared to compete now, or is he just back just to say hello to the fans?
Didn't hear. I have it on mute. But I think that Damon did come out. So I think that's going to be if he's cleared, I think that's going to be the match in Money in the Bank, because I think that in order for them to build Damian Priest to be a legitimate champion, he did great against against Drew. He defeated Jay in Backlash. I think a win over Seth Rollins would make that match with Gunther in SummerSlam a little bit more like, okay, so hold on a second. He beat Drew, he beat Jay, he beat Seth. Maybe he can beat Gunther, which just trying to build him up to like a dominant champion. I mean, listen, I do I want Damian to lose? Absolutely not. But it's Gunther's time too. Which also, it's so many people right now, dude. Monday Night Raw to me is stacked because if you think about it, you got Damian, you got Seth, you got Jey Uso, Gunther, Drew, Punk. So any of those guys at any given time, whoa, I got the fireworks in the back. And at any given point, they could be world champions. So if Gunther wins it, does that mean that Drew's going to turn face? I don't know. I don't think so. So that's why the storytelling, man, I'm so pumped and I'm so ready for summer's going to be great. They're going to have a lot of wrestling.
When you put it like that, man, yeah, that's a good point. It kind of reminds me of the Royal Rumble, the last Royal Rumble that Cody won. Yeah, we all kind of figured that Cody was going to win it. But like you said, there was people in that Rumble that were all great picks to win it. Like all those people that you mentioned, it could be Drew, it could be Gunther, it could be we knew Cody, we wanted Cody to win, but obviously if he didn't win, it would have been okay. We would have been all right either way, And
I actually wanted Gunther.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even be mad at that. So right now it is a really good time on Monday Night Raw. They do have a lot of the roster stacked, a lot of great potential champions, worthy ones. So yes, it is very, very exciting time. We'll see what happens next with Damian Priest over on Monday Night Raw. And since we're kind of fantasy booking here a little bit, I'm gonna get a little crazy with this fantasy booking.
Let's go.
So let's talk about AEW a little bit now, okay?
Yeah.
So there has been rumors and, the wrestling fans talking and buzzing about a potential big WWE name. What if this person goes over to AEW? And the rumors and the talks got so big that even Jim Ross got a wind of this. And Jim Ross, they asked him, what his thoughts were about this. And the question was, what if Shane McMahon went over to AEW? And well, that sounds pretty crazy, right? Doesn't it?
It is.
But we are talking about wrestling here. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in wrestling. And Jim Ross, he had some comments about this too. And this is what Jim Ross had to say, and I thought it was really interesting. He says it's crazy that it might work depending how it was positioned and how it's introduced. This is Jim Ross saying, Shane called me the other day. He called me 2 or 3 times, which I really appreciate. He's always been sensitive in that respect. When Jim Ross, his wife passed away, Shane McMahon, Jim Ross says, was one of the ones that would call him often. Shane McMahon and Tony Khan being together, how that would work creatively, heck, who knows? But it might be great, Jim Ross says. So obviously, Jim Ross being a part of AEW right now, he's all for it. He thinks it's a great idea. But I feel like he kind of has to say that because he works for AEW. So let me ask you, Eric, as a fan of wrestling, if Shane McMahon were to join AEW, what do you think about that of seeing Shane McMahon over in the competition?
So when I saw that, the first thing that popped into my mind was if this happened, then I'm gonna believe that the rumors when AEW started and everything that it was backed up. It was backed up by Vince McMahon. Think about it. I think that with Vince being out of WWE now, and with right now we have a lot of Triple H is doing all this stuff with different companies and stuff like that, which is great.
Right.
Would it happen? I don't think it's gonna happen. But if it does happen, I think it's gonna be. I think that's what. If it were to happen, I think that's what AEW needs to get that boost. Because then they're gonna think that WWE and AEW are working together, even though they're not.
Man, yeah, that will definitely be a big boost for AEW.
Yep.
Because it's, I automatically just thought about when Vince McMahon bought WCW and Shane McMahon showed up on Nitro talking about the contract says Vince McMahon. I mean, the contract says McMahon, but it says Shane McMahon. What a fucking great moment. But also, you gotta kind of, I mean, it's crazy to think about, right? But as a wrestling fan, we can't help it but to fantasy book. And seeing how Shane McMahon's last appearance went down at WrestleMania, I don't think Shane McMahon should step foot in another wrestling ring ever again.
Oh, no, God. I think that don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy is, you know what? For being one of those non-competitors that only comes in once in a blue moon, Shane is great. I've seen Shane live a few times that I'm like, he's just fucking crazy. Yeah. But I don't think that if he comes into AEW, it's going to be one of those like to be a performer or anything like that. But can you imagine if he does come in? Let's say fantasy booking. Let's say that he does come in.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be ideal for him to have kind of like that invasion type deal they did back in the day with WCW, but him using the old WWE guys like Daniel Bryan's, Claudio, Jericho, like, yo, we came in to destroy you from within. Something like that. Like
that would be lovely, dude. That would be lovely.
It would be. Honestly, it would be the only thing that could save AEW right now. I mean,
yeah,
I don't have anything against AEW. I really don't. One, and this is as honest as I can be. Like I work during the week, so it's like by the time I come home and I try to watch it, it doesn't catches my attention. It really doesn't. I mean, nothing against it, but I follow it. I try to stay up to date as much as I can, and when something good happens, I'll make sure to watch it. But the one thing that I don't like about AEW is that it seems like in every promo and every single little thing, they gotta mention WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And me as a fan of wrestling, I just want to watch wrestling. Mm-hmm. I want to hear you bash the guy that is in the ring with you or the guy that is backstage. I don't want to hear you talk about the guy, the other company or anything like that.
Mm.
But like, this is not an East Coast, West Coast rap battle. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I love wrestling. I mean, if I had a choice, I'd be going to every independent show that I can, but I can't. So,
right. See, that's the thing. That I don't think the WWE wants to help build or give AEW that boost, because if Shane McMahon were to show up, it would be like out of spite, I feel like, to kind of give the WWE the middle finger or give Vince McMahon the middle finger, even though Vince McMahon is not there anymore. Why would Shane McMahon do that? The only reason I would see that, I mean, because it's not money. He doesn't need the money. So it's like, why? To stir things up between AEW and WWE, but that'll obviously give AEW a big boost, and WWE is not trying to do that at all. They're doing the complete opposite. Like how when was it Friday Night SmackDown that AJ Styles or that Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles mentioned like TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, but they didn't mention AEW.
This is not competition.
Well, they're competing with NXT. So I think that's the reason why they're not mentioning it, because how can they say Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan, but then when they're referring to AEW, they just name it like the other place or the other company, I'm like, you're mentioning all these, they don't want to give them that boost. So if Shane McMahon goes over there, then that's WWE pretty much saying, yeah, let's help these guys out. At least that's how I see it. And I don't think that would ever happen. It would be nice because we can get shit like that, like you said, right?
Fantasy booking, brother.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now with this thing. So, but there's people out there that believe it,
Yeah, but let me ask you something. To see if you actually heard about this. You know what? A couple of weeks ago, my boy was telling me that Vince McMahon has a no compete clause for until 2025. Have
I
you heard
have
about
not
that?
heard about that.
Yeah, I haven't
No.
heard about that. I think he's just made that up because I haven't seen that. I was like, oh crap, that would be interesting if Vince McMahon has a
Yeah.
no compete clause until 2025. That's next year, man.
Right.
I didn't
Nah.
hear.
Yeah. See, and I'm just trying to like think like if that was a thing, why would that be a thing? And if that's even possible, because I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon, he's like completely done. He's out of like the WWE
Yeah,
completely.
he's
At least
done.
last thing I checked. So if Vince McMahon even wanted to start another company,
You froze on me, Edgar.
then I don't think there's nothing. There's the only thing that's stopping him is himself and enjoying his billions and billions of dollars that he has, you know?
No, the only reason I bring it up is because if Shane were to do something outside of WWE, that would be it. Vince starts something and then he takes over once Vince is completely done. But again, that's just I don't think Vince is coming back at all. Or Shane.
Or Shane. Yeah, I don't think so either. But it's still interesting to think about, you know, as a wrestling fan, like, you know, what if? But now that we're talking about AEW, let's talk about Forbidden Door a little bit because that's coming up in a couple of weeks. I believe at the end of the month is when this pay-per-view is supposed to be. June 30th, Elmont, New York. And we have some of the matches already. And WrestleTix is reporting that they're doing pretty good selling tickets for this show. And that's great news for AEW.
Yep.
It's going to be a packed house. They've sold close to 8,500 tickets with about 1,500 tickets left to sell. So this is going to be like a 10,000 seat arena. So they're trying to fit up to like close to 10,000 people for the show. And by looking at some of the matches that I'm seeing in this card, that's actually kind of surprising to me. The fact that they've sold, like, there's a lot of people that are really excited for this Forbidden Door event. So, with that being said, Eric from the SDN Podcast, are you one of those excited fans for this pay-per-view, the Forbidden Door?
Nah.
What do you mean? Look, let me show you here. One of the matches we're gonna have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. You're not pumped for that?
My man's just gonna have his hands down his pants the whole time. Hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, dude. I've been seeing I've been seeing like people talk about like, oh man, this pay-per-view is gonna be so great. We have all these matches that with great storylines and great build, and all these guys, they all have history. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm watching Dynamite every week, and I'm like, what the fuck are these people even talking about? Like Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. Like I can't even think of, well, mind you, I only watch Dynamite. I don't watch Collision. I don't watch Rampage. Don't got the time for it.
Yeah.
But maybe they're building something on those shows, because on Dynamite, I'm not seeing it. Another match that's on this card, Jon Moxley, the New Japan champion, is going up versus Tetsuya Naito.
That's actually gonna be good.
Yeah, you're familiar with what's going on there?
No, not with their storyline going on, but I've heard of Naito. He's no, wait, that's not him, is it? That's the shooter, right? He's not.
Well, actually, I said that Jon Moxley is a New Japan champion, which is incorrect. He's the IWGP heavyweight champion.
Yeah. No, I think I got him confused. That's not the guy who's always going there. I thought it was the other guy.
Well, I've seen and I've heard John Moxley cut promos on this guy, but I don't think Tetsuya Naito, I don't think we've seen him on AEW TV, at least not yet, for this Forbidden Door. So he'll probably be showing up if he hasn't already, people. If he showed up already and I don't know about it or I missed it, I'm sorry. But if he hasn't showed up already, I'm sure he should be showing up pretty soon for this big IWGP Heavyweight Championship match versus John Moxley. The other match too, and this is kind of like an eye roll for me because I kind of already have a prediction of how this match is going to turn out. And this is the ladder match for the vacant TNT Championship. Mark Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin versus, man, every time I see his name, I can't help but botch it. Takeshita, and the final opponent is to be determined probably this week on Dynamite. What do you think is going to win that one?
Perry.
My thoughts exactly. Now, why? What makes you say that so fast like that?
Well, if you, I don't, and this is how predictable it is. I don't follow it, but I know what's going on with the Elite, with the Young Bucks and everything. The Rainmaker it's a given. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Jack Perry.
I'm pretty sure of that too, especially because they're supposedly running the company and they want to get more heat. So let's put the titles on the Young Bucks. Let's put the title on the Rainmaker. So Jack Perry's the only one that doesn't have it, and they were already going to hand it to him. There was a segment where the Young Bucks were just like, "You're the new champion." Like, yep. I think they've done that before. Who was it? Was it Triple H? They did that in WWE a while back. That they just handed Triple H the championship and they just say, "Here you go, you're the champion now."
When Brock Lesnar went to SmackDown and said, "I'm exclusive to SmackDown now, I'm not coming back to Raw," Eric Bischoff gave him the big gold belt. Yeah.
Yes, wow. The WCW one. Yes.
Yeah. They made it though. Yeah.
So they tried to do that, and it didn't work. Is it Christopher Daniels, the new GM of Dynamite, came out, put an end to that. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious they're gonna do some fuck finish here where the Bucks, they're gonna interfere, and Okada's gonna interfere. And man, I would like to see Mark Briscoe win some type of real gold, real championship, because Mark Briscoe, if he were to pull off the impossible at Forbidden Door and win the TNT Championship, that means that we'd get to see Mark Briscoe more on Dynamite, which is what they need.
Hell yeah. You know what? That would be great, because then you have something to build on, and put Mark Briscoe in that big storyline with the Elite and stuff like that. I would actually see, that's what I'm saying. It has to be something that catches my attention. What you just said, like if Mark Briscoe actually wins, that would actually caught my attention, because that means that Jack Perry's going to go after Mark Briscoe. I would sit down to watch that.
That's a good point.
Like, let me watch that. But no, it's going to be Jack Perry.
Yeah. And other than that, we got Mercedes Moné going up against Stephanie Vacker, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. And I haven't been a fan of Mercedes Moné since she started. Hell, I haven't been a fan of Sasha Banks, to be honest, since just taking it farther than just it's not even like an AEW thing. It's just like a her thing, And then the only other match that I'm kind of looking forward to for the Forbidden Door is Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. I'm a big fan of both of these guys.
Yep.
But it's like, to me, the timing of this, it just does not seem right. I don't think that they should have done it this soon. I mean, I knew that Will Ospreay at one point, he's going to have to get a heavyweight championship match. Obviously, he's like one of the biggest stars right now.
But why now?
I have no idea.
I did happen to watch a clip where he took the belt from Strickland, and he kind of just put them together or something like that. And he goes, Strickland went up to him and said something. You're lucky you're my friend. If not, I would have dropped you or something like that. I was like,
I'll put you on the dirt or put you in
I'll
the
put you,
ground.
yeah, put you on the
Basically,
ground. I was
yeah.
like, I want to see it. That I would like. I wouldn't mind seeing.
Oh yeah.
That I won't mind seeing. I like them both. I mean, I just find it hilarious the way that things are sometimes. You know, like the guys in WWE, NXT, he was okay. Goes to the main roster, didn't make it. Goes to AEW, boom, world champion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, can make it in one. They made of the world champion in the other, but to each their own. But I think that Strickland and Ospreay, that's going to be good. That's actually going to be pretty good.
Yeah, but the only thing about that match is like you can't. I'm just wondering what they're going to do here, because I don't think you can beat Will Ospreay. I don't think that would make sense. I mean, you just brought him in and you presented this guy as like the next top guy in AEW, and the people love Ospreay. And it's like he's like this big baby face, and then you have Swerve, who the people turned Swerve baby face, and the people love him too. And it's like you can't beat Swerve either, because he just became champion after this long story that they were telling. You know, first African American champion in AEW history, and he's been champion for a couple months, if that.
Yeah.
And you're already going to put him up versus a Will Ospreay. Ah, man, it's going to be rough, man. I'm going to be heartbroken either way. If Ospreay loses, I'm going to be like, but if Swerve loses, I'm going to be like, damn. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, man. It's interesting.
So here's what I actually think is going to end up happening, because I was having the same sentiments as you. I was like, why would they put them together so quick? You know, not even that. It's what you said. You know, they're both kind of fan favorites and stuff like that. Even though Strickland is kind of more like a little heelish way, but the elite is going to get involved.
Yeah, they've been kind of in that mix too, huh? I forgot about that.
The elite is going to get involved, and if Jack Perry does win, what a way to end the Forbidden Door pay-per-view with both champion and challenger laying on the ground, and all of them with the belts.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no. Are they? Yeah. The Young Bucks are the tag champs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So, and see, that's the thing. You said Swerve Strickland is a little heel, but I would say that Will Ospreay, he's the one that's a little heel, because he has the heel manager, Don Callis, in his corner.
That is true.
See what I'm saying? So, man, there's just, I'm most likely going to get this pay-per-view as well. But the only match that I'm really looking forward to is that one. And it's kind of like, yeah, man, like a love-hate type thing, love-hate situation. It's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But just, you know, what comes after that is what I'm concerned about.
Listen, I don't hate AEW. Like, it's just like I said, it's just there's certain things that don't catch my attention. There's things that I'm like, you know what, I like, and I change it or whatever. But I've been like, I went down to North Carolina to watch Sting's last match. You know,
nice.
But it was because of what it was. It was Sting's
so
last match.
You saw Darby Allin almost bleed to death.
Dude, that was insane.
You're like speechless. You're like, oh yeah, dude.
Dude, when I saw it, when me and my boy were just looking and we're like, motherfucker's crazy. Yeah, I don't care crazy. How much money I get paid. I'm not doing that.
No, that's too much, that's dude. Crazy. No, yeah. The very few times that AEW comes over here on my side to the West Coast in California, I try to go. I've gone to the AEW shows out here, but they never come out here for some reason. So that's
they like to stick over here to this section because they have especially like New York, right there, Long Island. They always sell, they don't sell out, but they sell more tickets than anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that's why too. They came out here, and I think they did, like 3,000, which is like their average. But it would be cool to see them out here more often. But that's where we're at, man, with AEW Forbidden Door, and looking forward to WWE's new comedy show with Sami Zayn. That should be really cool. But yeah, man, that's all I had for you today, Eric. Any final thoughts before we dip on out of here?
Nah, man, thank you for the opportunity. I really was looking forward to this. Love to do it again sometime.
Oh, dude, for sure. You're officially a friend of the show.
Thank you.
And you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want, man.
And once we get to that level, man, we'd love to have you on ours too.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Tell the people one last time where they can find you.
We are at the SDN Podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter, even though I don't go on it, TikTok, and YouTube. Please give us that follow.
Right on. My name is Edgar. I'm the host of Snug Wrestling. Thank you guys for listening, and we will talk soon.